We do have one of our members who has requested to participate virtually from Georgia, where he's traveling with his family today, but still wants to be a part of the meeting. And so I need a motion from someone to accept his his electronic participation.
So moved, sir.
Second.
All right, then motion made and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passed. Good morning, everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining us for our GRTC meeting. It is our practice generally to go around the room and introduce ourselves. And so we start at the table. You can just tell us name and locality or name or organization that you're representing. Or if you're just a citizen and you're just here, just say who you are and I'm a citizen. Tyrone Nelson representing Henrico County.
Bonnie Ashley, General Counsel.
Dave Anderson, Chesterfield County.
Dan Schmidt with Henrico County.
Ellen Robertson, City of Richmond.
Barb Smith, Chesterfield.
Jim Engel, Chesterfield County.
Todd Ure, Henrico County.
Cheryl Adams, GRTC.
All right, we're gonna start over. Oh, sorry.
Andreas Addison, City of Richmond.
All right, let's start in the corner. Sorry about that.
GRTC. Agent Torres, GRTC.
Johnson Road, GRTC. Joe Diller, GRTC.
Tony Bird, recommend GRTC.
Monica Farr, GRTC. Sonia Thompson, GRTC.
Alan Hernandez, GRTC.
Kenneth Lance, RBA.
Sharif Russell, RideFinders.
Mark Renee, GRTC.
Henry Bennett, GRTC.
Jim Moore, GRTC.
Norwich Colorado, 12.
Frank Haddad by GRTC. Justin Sweeney, GRTC.
All right.
Someone just walked in.
All right, thank you for joining us. Thanks, everyone. Who? Oh, sorry, Lincoln.
that?
You want to introduce yourself?
Lincoln Saunders, City of Richmond.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Public comments, you want to handle that, Henry?
Thanks, Jerry, Lincoln, everybody. We have 3 public comments for this period. The first is from our friend Demetrius Gordon, referring to the Sanson-Elko zone. He says there's a major issue concerning the Sanson-Elko zone in that there are businesses and hotels located on the western side of Laburnum Avenue that are cut off from the zone, including Kroger. He says all of those businesses should be in the zone if the riders want to use the service effectively. This could also benefit drivers. She revealed to me that she can't go outside to take a break or grab something to eat. The microtransit zone may be new, but this hiccup needs to be taken care of before it gets worse. And then our 2 comments from our friends at RVA Rapid Transit. The first one being, my name is Tangi. I work at 13th and Main and live at the 3500 block of Breel Street. I get up at 5, it's now 6. It should not take me an hour to get home. The Pulse is a good idea, but the stops in between, you guys have made it so hard, and the buses that go in between those stops take so long. And to get to the Pulse, we have to walk. I am 61 years old. I cannot walk all these blocks just to get to the Pulse to get home at a reasonable time. I want you all to figure out for us to catch the in-between buses a little bit sooner. And finally this morning, my name is Tavares. Man, you gotta ride the bus. It's the best, man. It gets you from point A to point B. It's free. And the ones that don't like driving their cars and are scared to go across the red lights, get on the bus. It's the best thing smoking for you right now. It's the best thing happening for people. It gets me to work, gets me home to family, and it's the best thing to do right now. Get on the bus. It's ready for you. Thank you all. A pleasure back to you reading comments.
Anyone in the room want to share any public comments? All right, hearing none. You all received the board meeting minutes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All right, motion been moved and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Consent agenda packet was sent out last week. As you can see, transit strategic plan, maintenance, holds and reels, annual liability insurance premium, City of Richmond Smart Scale app, short-term disability insurance, all listed under consent agenda. I think all of the staff persons are here. If you have any questions about any of the consent agenda items. All right, hearing none, is there a motion to receive the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All right, motion made and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Operational updates. Kevin and Frank, operational performance, ridership performance.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and members of the board. I'm here to provide the update for the month of June from operations. For our transportation department, our operators began their new schedules the week of June 30th to coincide with the Route 1 extension and also other schedule changes. So far, the schedules are going well. We do expect a slight learning curve for staff as they get acclimated with the new schedules. We continue to remain around 90% of our staffing goal on our fixed route section, and we'll be looking into a few recruiting strategies to get to that goal in the fall. For our maintenance department, we had our second consecutive month of 95% or better completion of our preventative maintenance program. We're also happy to report that all 19 of our new 2024 Gaelic buses were placed into service as of July 1st to help with reliability of our service. And fresh off the press this morning from our maintenance director, we are happy to report that on our mechanic side, we're 100% fully staffed. So we're really excited about that. From our safety department, overall, we're seeing a decrease in accidents and incidents where we're working with our operators in our quarterly safety meetings this month, actually, to address some of these areas with fixed objects and other hazards as well. From customer service, our complaints have remained pretty consistent. We did see a decrease slightly, but we're going to take it from our pass-up passengers, and also a 50% decrease in our specialized transportation complaints. Our safety meeting, we're also going to be addressing some of these areas as well this month. And we continue to see our staff members being recognized for their hard work. We had 10 accommodations system-wide. So we're really happy to see that recognition for their hard work. From our micro transit division, as we spoke at our last board meeting, we did have our 19 new operators begin their new journey with us the week of June 30th. So far, they're performing well. We'll be evaluating further the effectiveness of the consistency of the service, as alluded with the public comment. And then we also did have a total of 1,900 total inquiries through our call center regarding microtransit, which speaks volume of the success of the program and also the ridership that Frank will cover. That concludes my report.
All right, thank you, sir. Are there any operational questions for Mr. Hernandez? All right, thank you. So we can do it in person. It look like two chairs.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. I will be providing a high level of
Switch offices.
Start with the calls. For fourth quarter of FY 2024, the calls are reported compared to the same period last year. It's a 9% increase on the calls ridership. So the next on the list is going to be the various category of routes, which I will start with the RRT route. For me, the highlight here is the 1B, which right here. So a dip of 7% when you compare it to what it did last year, the fourth quarter of last year. We're seeing that we see a 7% dip in that ridership for the 1B.
For the purpose of, for our purpose here today, I won't focus too much on the passengers per trip as well as the cost. Just pretty much looking at the ridership information. For the community radar route, you can see that the fourth quarter of FY24 saw positive ridership increases as compared to what it did the same period of FY 2020.
So the red blocks mean what now?
So and that's what I said. This is the passengers per trip. We have a set standard for passengers per trip for each route category. If you look at this one, pretty much the set standard is 10 passengers per trip. So we have a formula in there that usually any number of passengers per trip on any of these routes, which is more than 70% of the set standards, it just picks it up in red. It shows that in red. And it's the same thing that applies to the developers per passenger. So anything that is 70% of or more of that said standard correct, it just shows it in red. And you will see some of it showing it in yellow, which is between 50 to 60% of the set standard for those category of routes. For the circulators, the story is very similar to what you've seen. Just for the route 88, compared to what it did last year, you will see that it's there is like that ridership compared to the same period last year.
Do you know the reason for that?
So it's something that we'll have to investigate. Also, I think that is that I'm trying to. It's not necessarily saving ridership for this period because it's like a month of and this was like quite last year. The performance was better then, but we have to go back and see what is going on there, why we have seen that kind of decrease for that same period for last year. So,
I'll just add that it's probably just more sensitive to additional ridership, so even number one or two would impact the percentages for that. I do want to add the red too. Just think about an Uber trip is about $20 per trip. So a lot of the routes you'll see in red, $22 or $20 or more end up in red. So just so it's not efficient for us to operate that service, you could end up contracting something like that out. So those ones are highlighted for us to look at maybe making some changes.
On those numbers, these are averages at the bottom, but are we benchmarking against other transit systems as to what the average cost per rider should be?
I think it's that is a good idea for us to be able to look at that, comparing to what of other transit systems within that region kind of looks like.
I don't know whether 10's high, whether 20's high, whether, what are others finding that they can do it for? If you've got a good balance of, routes versus types of vehicles. I think to Adrian's point, it's what else could you employ that costs less money to still achieve the same goal? I think that's actually more
bit of analysis
probably than anything.
I do agree. I think it's worth doing some sort of comparison with systems within the region to see what.
Question on some of the routes that we haven't had an increase in frequency of service. Ridership has gone up, but productivity has gone down. Yes. So if go back to the radial slide. So, for example, the South Laburnum 56, ridership went up 6%, but productivity went down 7.1%. But as far as we know, service did not increase. So how did productivity go down?
Sorry.
56. second Powell. There's other ones like that on there as well.
You said Powell with the 9.4% increase in the year-over-year change.
Yes, but ridership went up, so how did
Right.
productivity go down?
So, and this is like the productivity is the passengers per trip. So you are dividing the average passengers per the number of trips out there. Sometimes it's just not going to show a true picture of what is happening. You can have people bunch up on for the period that people travel. You can see people bunch up on certain periods, but not necessarily across every single trip. So that is the passengers per trip pretty much showing the efficiency of what the service looks like. That's what I said earlier on, not to focus so much on that, because for me it's the total ridership that we need to kind of look at. The express routes, I think this story of the express route is pretty much similar. For FY24, we saw that 50% or two of the four. So how's the other two? So the increases, and I think for me it's just an issue of us having to figure out what we need to do with the express routes, and luckily for us, we have the TSP ready, so we can go back to it and see some other recommendations made in the TSP to see how best improve the performance of the express route. Next one is the micro transit. So for the total monthly ridership for June 24, for the four zones that we have Zaria, Cloverdale, Carlton, and Ashland. This data does not include Sands, because that was launched on July 1st. So this is just for the four zones. June saw ridership in terms of total ridership by zone for the month of June. We're still seeing Azalea and Ashland leading the pack. We see Cloverdale coming up slowly. I guess for Paulson probably find a way to put out a lot more of find ways to putting the message out and see how best we can bring that out.
So how long, we've been doing powertrain for how long?
Paulson was since March. Yeah.
And what about Cloverdale?
I think around the same period, like a week ago.
So Ashland, is that like college students or something? Like who's the rider in Ashland? I mean, like is that Randolph Macon students or something, or what?
I believe so. I will have to look at the data to tell you that.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see, like, I mean, that's a lot of and that's more than Azalea, honestly.
And school's probably out.
That's right, that's exactly right, yeah.
You said when?
School's probably out right now. I mean, the majority of the students probably aren't on campus.
Oh, so yeah, that's June. Wow. I'm curious. You can dig into that a little bit.
I think we should get rid of that. I don't know if you remember, we used to have this map where we show where we're traveling to. So that should give us that good information on who is on the system. Yeah. So that is. I know we've talked about the total ridership, and I think it's also always good to have a good idea of, on a single day, you want to have a fair idea of how many people use the system. The graph to your left is just showing the averagely we're seeing about 224 riders on this system. For the month of June, this year, still for average ridership, we're seeing Azalea and Ashland leading that. I think it's Ashland is leading in terms of the total ridership. But if you look at the average daily ridership, Azalea. This is the shared versus on-shared. This tells the story of, again, it goes back to some of the issues that we were talking about earlier on, trying to see how the service gains popularity over years and how people begin to change how they use it. So if you look at this graph, yeah, from November to February, results data. How their share trips have changed over time. When it started, a lot of people were just not sharing their trips, but as you know, the service got power applying its own, that people get a better understanding of it. That kind of started changing. And it gained ridership. And then I think the rest of it, I believe Cloverdale, Ashland, Carlton, somewhere around March, all the way up to June now. You see that people are sharing trips a lot more now. So if you look at the one to the right, the graph to the right, it's just the shared versus on-shared trip for the month of June. That is showing how the various zones are performing. When you look at the two leading zones, you see a lot of people sharing a lot more trips.
But it's not up to the rider can't select whether they share or don't share. It's just a matter of the system combining trips if people are going to the same destination.
Right. Does that mean that people who on that system,
Question, how many days a week of service do we have on Ashland versus Azalea?
I think
Six.
yeah. Six.
On Azalea, what about Ashland?
Oh, I think it's 6, right? Yeah, 6.
That's how Azalea can have more per day and less overall,
Right.
because they run one more day.
I'm on it, yeah.
Okay.
Is there a goal we have for shared versus unshared?
A goal, I think that the idea is pretty much to continue to have people share it. Does that help with the utilization of the resources?
Okay. Just curious if there's any metrics for that.
This talks about how people reserve trips. In as much as the microtransit is a technology-based system where people are encouraged to use that app, we still have that other option where people can call into customer service to use.
I'd just like to say for the good of the group here, if anybody's like me on this, when we look at comparative analysis on this table here, we have to be cautious about putting on a single graph very different DNAs of spaces. Powhatan, Azalea, entirely different DNAs. What I'm most interested in is seeing how these change over time. And so it's just a sort of a cautionary thing. You look at this and your first response is you're looking at it in a vacuum. Well, what's wrong with the low numbers? And so we just need to be cautious and also thoughtful about what is the DNA of Powhatan, what is the DNA of Azalea, and how can we maximize the benefits of each of those and build the system towards that being successful.
And I completely agree. I think you and I have had some of that conversation before in the past. The characteristics of the various zones are completely different. So that takes how some of these numbers come up. Then the wait time. So the wait time pretty much shows us how reliable the for our system. From November to June, average wait time for the understand it goes back to the point that you just made. Some of the special characteristics of the zones are sizes where the buses are, where the shadows are staged, and they dictate how long it will take them to get from point A to point B. But the National Center for Applied Transit Technology did a study where they indicated the average wait time for microtransit should be between 15 to 30 minutes. So we are pretty much. So that is pretty much it. I don't know if there are any more questions.
Any more questions? All right, thank you. Appreciate you. All right, financial updates.
Went over the May financials in the last meeting and everything's staying on track. Looks like it'll stay that way through June, and I believe we'll end up approximately where we are right now. John, do you have anything else to add? About 3.5 million.
Okay. All right, anything else you want to add? All right. CEO officers report. CEO's officers, sorry. Chief Executive Officer report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have a couple of things this morning. So for the September board meeting, we would like to have a mini retreat to have some strategic planning with the board. So we'll send out another calendar invite to make that meeting a little bit longer. We don't anticipate it going past 11:30. We'll start at 8 like we would our regular board meeting and go until 11:30. No later than 11:30. So that's for September. And then for our October board meeting, remember we have shareholders meeting in October, so that meeting is normally pushed a week out. So again, we'll send out a calendar invite to make sure it's on everybody's calendar. For those on the development committee, that meeting is scheduled for August 8th. And we would like to try and make sure we have that meeting. So if August 8th does not work for the members, I'll have Joe reach out and you can let us know if there's a different date that will work for your schedule to ensure that we will be able to have that meeting for the month of August. The other thing, I have employees of the month, and I think we forgot to invite them because I don't see any of them here. I apologize for that, but I would like to officially recognize them during the meeting. We have Ashley Eaton, who is one of our mechanics, Mike Frazier, who is a bus operator, and Josie Bunskowski, who is our maintenance administrative manager. So we would like to congratulate them on being recognized by their peers for a job well done, and we want to thank them for what they do for GRTC. And then the last thing that I have, and she's not going to be happy, but I want to recognize our Chief of Staff, Adrian Torres, for her 10th work anniversary. Adrian has done a tremendous job during the 10 years that she's been here. She's helped move us forward, and we appreciate all of her dedication and hard work. And I just want to say congratulations again. And that's all I have, Mr. Chair.
All right, you have any words? No, you're on the spot.
10 years has gone by fast and we've done a lot.
Right.
More to come.
Yeah. Incredible. So thank you. And employees who, if you're watching, we'll make sure we get you those certificates, and thank you for all that you do. October is coming quickly, so we do have our shareholders meeting. We also need to start thinking about our next wave of officers, leaders. So it's July now, so that's 3 months. So we do need to elect new chair, vice chair, and so just begin to think, who amongst us? is ready to rise up. And so
Great job and wants to stay.
we thank you for being here this morning. Lincoln, thank you for joining us. Do you guys have any other business for us? Such an efficient, if all of my meetings were like this, man, my life would be great. No other business, meeting adjourned.